All right, moving right along in Wonder. The last thing that they had talked about was showing up to graduation. So here we go. The drop off. The graduation ceremony was held in the Beecher Prep Upper School Auditorium. It was only about a 15-minute walk from our house to the other campus building, but Dad drove me because I was all dressed up and had on a new shiny black shoes that weren't broken in yet, and I didn't want my feet to hurt. Students were supposed to arrive at the auditorium an hour before the ceremony started. But we got there even earlier, so we sat in the car and waited. Dad turned on the CD player, and our favorite song came on. We both smiled and started bobbing our heads to the music. Dad sang along with the song. Andy would bicycle across town in the rain to bring you candy. I don't know this song, so I can't really sing it. Hey, is my tie on straight? I said. He looked and straightened a tiny bit as he kept on singing, and John would buy the gown for you to wear to the prom. Does my hair look okay? I said. He smiled and nodded. Perfect, he said. You look great, Auggie. Via put some gel in it this morning, I said, pulling down the sun visor and looking in the little mirror. It doesn't look too puffy? No, it's very, very cool, Auggie. I don't think you've ever had it this short before, have you? No, I got it cut yesterday. I think it makes me look more grown up. Don't you? Definitely, he was smiling, looking at me and nodding. But I'm the luckiest guy on the Lower East Side because I got wheels and you want to go for a ride. Look at you, Auggie, he said, smiling ear to ear. Look at you, looking so grown up and spiffy. I can't believe you're graduating from the 5th grade. I know, it's pretty awesome, right? I nodded. Feels like just yesterday you started. Remember, I still had that Star Wars braid hanging from my back of my head. Oh my gosh, that's right, he said, rubbing his palm over his forehead. You hated that braid, didn't you, Dad? Hate is a strong word, but I definitely didn't love it. You hated it. Come on, admit it, I teased. No, I didn't hate it, he smiled, shaking his head, but I will have to admit to hating that astronaut helmet you used to wear. Do you remember? The one that Miranda gave me? Of course I remember. I used to wear that thing all the time. Good gosh, I hated that thing, he laughed, almost more to himself. I was so bummed when it got lost, I said. Oh, it didn't get lost, he answered casually. I threw it out. Wait, what? I said. Honestly, I didn't think I heard him right. The day is beautiful, and so are you, he was singing. Dad, I said, turning the volume down. What? He said. You threw it out? He finally looked at my face and saw how how mad I was. I couldn't believe he was being so matter-of-fact about the whole thing. I mean, to me, this was a major revelation, and he was acting like it was no big deal. Auggie, I couldn't stand seeing that thing cover your face anymore, he said clumsily. Dad, I loved that helmet. It meant a lot to me. I was bummed beyond belief when it got lost. Don't you remember? Of course I remember, Auggie, he said softly. Oh, Auggie, don't be mad. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand seeing you wear that thing on your head anymore, you know? I didn't think it was good for you. He was trying to look me in the eye, but I wouldn't look at him. Come on, Auggie. Please try to understand, he continued, putting his hand under my chin and tilting my face toward him. You were wearing that helmet all the time, and the real truth is, I miss seeing your face, Auggie. I know you don't always love it, but you have to understand, I love it. I love this face of yours, Auggie, completely and passionately, and it kind of broke my heart that you were always covering it up. He was squinting at me like he really wanted me to understand. Does Mom know? I said. He opened his eyes wide. No way. Are you kidding? She would have killed me. She tore that place apart looking for that helmet, Dad. I said, I mean, she spent like a week looking for it in every closet, in the laundry room, everywhere. I know, he said, nodding. That's why she'd kill me. And then he looked at me, and something about his expression made me start laughing, which made him open his mouth wide, like he had just realized something. Wait a minute, Auggie, he said, pointing his finger at me. You have to promise you will never tell Mom anything about this. I smiled and rubbed my palms together like I was about to get very greedy. Let's see, I said, stroking my chin. We'll be wanting that new Xbox when it comes out next month, and I'll definitely be wanting my own car in about 6 years. Red Porsche would be nice, and he started laughing. I love it when I'm the one who makes Dad laugh, since he's usually the funny man that gets everybody else laughing. Oh boy, he said, shaking his head. You really have grown up. The part of the song we loved to sing the most started to play, and I turned up the volume. We both started singing. I'm the ugliest guy on the Lower East Side, but I've got wheels and you want to go for a ride. Want to go for a ride, want to go for a ride, want to go for a ride. We always sing this last part at the top of our lungs, trying to hold that last note as long as the guy who sang the song, which always makes us crack up. While we were laughing, we noticed Jack had arrived and was walking over to our car. I started to get out. Hold on, said Dad. I just want to make sure you've forgiven me, okay? Yeah, I forgive you. He looked at me gratefully. Thank you. But don't ever throw anything else of mine out again without telling me. I promise. I opened the door and got out as Jack reached the car. Hey, Jack, I said. Hey, Auggie. Hey, Mr. Pullman, said Jack. How you doing, Jack, said Dad. See you later, Dad, I said, closing the door. Good luck, guys, Dad called out, rolling down the front window. See you on the other side of 5th grade. We waved as he turned on the ignition and started to pull away, but then I ran over and stopped the car. I put my head in the window so Jack wouldn't hear what I was saying. Can you guys not kiss me a lot after graduation, I asked quietly. It's kind of embarrassing. I'll try my best. Tell Mom, too. I don't think she'll be able to resist, Auggie, but I'll pass it along. Bye, dear old Dad. He smiled. Bye, my son, my son. Take your seats, everyone. Jack and I walked behind a couple of 6th graders into the building and then followed them to the auditorium. Mrs. G was at the entrance, handing out the programs and telling kids where to go. 5th graders down the aisle to the left, she said. 6th graders to the right. Everyone come in, come in. Good morning. Go to your staging areas. 5th graders to the left, 6th graders to the right. The auditorium was huge inside. Big sparkling chandeliers, red velvet walls, rows and rows and rows of cushioned seats leading up to the giant stage. We walked down the wide aisle and followed the signs to the 5th grade staging area, which was in a big room to the left of the stage. Inside were 4 rows of folding chairs facing the front of the room, which is where Miss Rubin was standing, waving us in as soon as we walked in the room. Okay, kids, take your seats. Take your seats, she was saying, pointing to the rows of chairs. Don't forget, you're sitting alphabetically. Come on, everybody, take your seats. Not too many kids had arrived yet, though, and ones who had weren't listening to her. Me and Jack were sword fighting with our rolled-up programs. Hey, guys. It was Summer walking over to us. She was wearing a light pink dress and, I think, a little makeup. Wow, Summer, you look awesome, I told her, because she really did. Really? Thanks. You do too, Auggie. Yeah, you look okay, Summer, said Jack, kind of matter-of-factly, and for the first time I realized that Jack had a crush on her. This is so exciting, isn't it? Said Summer. Yeah, kind of, I answered, nodding. Oh, man, look at the program, said Jack, scratching his forehead. We're going to be here all day. I looked at the program, and it said, Headmaster's opening remarks by Dr. Harold Jensen, Middle School Director's address by Mr. Lawrence Tushman, Light and Day Song by Middle School Choir, 5th grade student commencement address by Hamina Chin, the Canon in D by the Middle School Chamber Music Ensemble, 6th grade student commencement address by Mark Anatok, Under Pressure Song by the Middle School Choir, Middle School Dean's Address by Miss Jennifer Rubin, and the awards presentation is on the back. Roll call of names. Why do you think that? I asked. Because Mr. Jensen's speeches go on forever, said Jack. He's even worse than Tushman. Mom said she actually dozed off when he spoke last year, Summer added. What's the awards presentation? I asked. That's where they give medals to the biggest brainiacs, Jack answered, which would mean Charlotte and Hamina will win everything in the 5th grade, like they won everything in 4th grade and in 3rd grade. Not in 2nd grade? I laughed. They didn't give those awards out in 2nd grade, he answered. Maybe you'll win this year, I joked. Not unless they give awards for the most C's, he laughed. Everybody take your seats, Miss Rubin started yelling louder now, like she was getting annoyed that nobody was listening. We have a lot to get through, so take your seats. Don't forget, you're sitting in alphabetical order, A through G in the first row, H through N in the second row, O through Q in the third row, R through Z in the last row. Let's go, people. We should go sit down, said Summer, walking toward the front section. You guys are definitely coming over to my house after this, right? I called out after her. Definitely, she said, taking her seat next to him in a chin. When did summer get so hot? Jack muttered in my ear. Shut up, dude, I said, laughing as we headed toward the third row. Seriously, when did that happen? He whispered, taking the seat next to me. Mr. Will, Miss Rubin shouted. Last time I checked, W came between R and Z, yes? Jack looked at her blankly. Dude, you're in the wrong row, I said. I am? And the face he made as he got up to leave, which was a mixture of looking completely confused and looking like he's just played a joke on someone, totally cracked me up. And I'm going to stop there.